You've felt it, haven't you? That quiet but unmistakable shift when people start treating you differently. It's like they know something about you that even you are still coming to terms with, that you're the chosen one. This isn't just a title thrown around lightly. It's a deep, almost cosmic recognition of your strength, your energy, and the unique path you're walking. People sense it, and their behavior changes in subtle yet profound ways. They start imitating you, offering advice you didn't ask for, or even acting nervously in your presence. Some may try to sabotage you, unable to handle your rising influence, while others desperately seek your validation. It's not always pretty, but it's a clear sign you're on a higher level. The truth is, once they recognize your power, they can't help but react, sometimes with admiration, other times with hostility. But none of it can stop you. In fact, these signs only confirm what you've known all along. You're destined for success, and no one can take that away. Want to know how? Let's dive into the 8 unmistakable signs that reveal you're the one they all recognize. When people start copying your style, behavior, or even your ideas, it's a clear sign that they admire you and recognize your influence. They see something in you that they want to mirror, whether it's the way you speak, dress, or handle yourself in tough situations. It's almost like they view you as the blueprint for success. You've become the chosen one in their eyes, the one who sets the standard they aspire to follow. This imitation can show up in subtle ways. You might notice a friend suddenly adopting your phrases, or a colleague beginning to mirror your work ethic. It's not always flattering, though. Sometimes it feels like they're stealing your thunder. But here's the thing. Imitation doesn't diminish your originality. It highlights your influence. If they didn't see you as successful, they wouldn't try to replicate your path. It's a reflection of your power, not a threat to it. And while it might be tempting to feel annoyed or even frustrated, remember this. Their imitation is a compliment wrapped in envy. Instead of letting it bother you, think of it as validation of your journey. Your energy speaks louder than words, and people are drawn to it, whether they admit it or not. Speaking of things people can't help but do, you'll often find that this admiration leads to another interesting behavior, giving you advice you never asked for. People love giving advice, especially when they sense you're onto something big. You might be minding your own business, making progress, and suddenly, everyone around you feels the need to chime in with their 2 cents. Often, this unsolicited advice comes from a place of admiration. They see your potential and want to be part of your journey, but sometimes it can feel overwhelming. It's like they're trying to insert themselves into your success, offering guidance you didn't ask for or even need. The thing is, not all advice is helpful. Sure, some of it might come from a genuine place, but more often than not, people project their own insecurities or fears onto you. They see your rise and, whether consciously or not, want to feel validated by contributing to your success. This can leave you feeling frustrated, as if your achievements are being questioned, or as though you need to prove something to them. But here's the truth. You don't need their validation. Your path is yours, and unsolicited advice is just background noise. What's interesting is how this behavior connects to the nervous energy people often feel around you. When they sense your growth, they don't just want to guide you, they become a little unsure of themselves. And that nervousness shows in the way they interact with you. You've probably noticed how some people act uneasy when they're around you. It's not that you're intimidating by choice, but the energy you carry is powerful, and that can make others feel nervous. When someone is in the presence of authenticity, genuine confidence, it challenges them. They might stumble over their words, fidget, or avoid eye contact. It's almost like they sense that you see right through them, and that can be unsettling for those who aren't comfortable with their own truth. This nervousness isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it's a reflection of the strong energy you emit. People can feel it when someone has tapped into their potential, and it either inspires them or makes them feel insecure. It's not uncommon for someone to act differently around you, simply because your presence forces them to confront parts of themselves they've been avoiding. The energy you radiate is a mirror, reflecting back their doubts, and it shakes them up. This reaction from others is closely tied to their feelings of jealousy or insecurity. When they can't handle the power you naturally project, it can sometimes evolve into something more toxic, hostility, or even attempts at sabotage. Let's talk about that next. When people can't handle your growth, they may turn hostile. This hostility often comes from jealousy or insecurity. They see your success as a reflection of their own shortcomings. Instead of celebrating your achievements, they might try to bring you down. It's like they're threatened by your progress, and in an attempt to protect their ego, they lash out. Sabotage, whether subtle or overt, becomes their way of coping with your rising influence. This sabotage can take many forms. You might notice people spreading rumors, trying to undermine your work, or even going out of their way to disrupt your plans. They may not even realize they're doing it consciously. It's their way of dealing with the feeling that you're pulling ahead. But their hostility doesn't have to derail you. In fact, it's another sign that you're on the right path. If no one feels threatened by your success, you're probably not shaking things up enough. This brings up an interesting dynamic. You'll find that, despite their attempts to sabotage you, many of these same individuals secretly seek your validation. Their hostility might be loud, but their need for your approval speaks even louder. Let's explore how people are constantly chasing after your validation. It's fascinating how the same people who might doubt or even sabotage you are often the ones who seek your validation the most. Friends, family, colleagues, they're drawn to your opinions, wanting your approval, even if they won't admit it outright. This need for validation isn't just about admiration. It's about them recognizing your influence and hoping to align themselves with your wisdom. It's almost as if they're looking for your stamp of approval on their own lives. You'll notice this when people start asking for your thoughts on everything, from small decisions to life-altering choices. They trust your judgment, sometimes more than they trust their own. This constant seeking of validation can be flattering, but it can also become exhausting. It's a reflection of the power you hold, the way your perspective carries weight, but it also shows how deeply people want to be in your good graces, hoping that your success will rub off on them. But there's more to it than just wanting validation. People will often try to align their actions with yours, predicting what you'll do next. They think that if they can stay in sync with you, they'll somehow share in your success. And this brings us to an interesting behavior: the way people try to predict your actions. When people begin trying to predict your moves, it's a clear sign they respect your decision-making. They want to stay in step with you, perhaps to align themselves with your success, or simply to avoid being left behind. You may notice individuals closely observing your routines, your choices, or even your habits, hoping to anticipate your next big move. It's as if they believe that by predicting your actions, they can catch some of the momentum you've built. This behavior can be flattering, but it can also feel invasive. Imagine someone at work trying to mirror your strategies, or a friend adjusting their plans based on what you do. It's a sign that they're deeply tuned into your frequency, acknowledging your ability to make things happen. But at the same time, it's a reminder that not everyone around you has your best interests at heart. Sometimes they're not just following your lead, they're looking for ways to capitalize on your decisions. And when people become overly invested in your every move, they're also more likely to pay close attention to your failures. There's a certain obsession that develops, where they hope to see you stumble, as if your setbacks could validate their own insecurities. Let's dive into that next. It's an unfortunate truth. Some people become obsessed with your setbacks. They might quietly cheer for your successes in public, but deep down, they're hoping to see you fail. Why? Because your failures make them feel better about themselves. When they see you, someone they view as the chosen one, stumble, it gives them a sense of relief. It's like validation for their own lack of progress, a reminder that even you can fall. You might notice this obsession in how closely people watch when things don't go your way. They'll talk about your mistakes more than your victories, gossiping about your struggles as if it gives them power. But here's the thing: failures are part of the journey. And while they're fixating on your setbacks, you're learning, growing, and coming back stronger. In reality, their obsession with your failures only highlights how much they fear your potential success. Sometimes this fixation can even lead them to resort to darker methods, like trying to undermine your success through toxic or harmful actions, including attempts of black magic. These efforts, however, are futile in the face of divine protection. Let's explore that next. When people see your unstoppable success, some may become desperate enough to try extreme measures, like black magic or other harmful practices, to bring you down. It sounds far-fetched, but envy can drive individuals to irrational lengths, especially when they feel powerless against your growth. They think that by resorting to dark methods, they can disrupt your path. But what they don't realize is that you're protected by something far greater, divine protection. These attempts never succeed because your energy operates on a higher frequency. You've cultivated a shield around you, built on your integrity, authenticity, and connection to something higher. Their efforts, whether conscious or not, can't penetrate that. In fact, the more they try, the more they exhaust their own energy, while you continue to rise. Their negativity can't touch your success, and their hostility only serves as a reminder of the path you're meant to walk. What's powerful is knowing that this divine protection is always with you, keeping you safe from not just physical harm, but the toxic energy people may send your way. Your success is destined, and no amount of black magic or negativity can derail it. With that in mind, you can move forward, focused, and confident, knowing the universe has your back. Now that you know these 8 unmistakable signs, it's clear that being the chosen one comes with its own set of challenges, but even greater rewards. So, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let the imitation, unsolicited advice, or even sabotage slow you down? Or will you step into your power, fully embracing the path that's been laid out for you? Remember, your energy is unmatched, and the divine protection surrounding you ensures no one can derail your success. But how you respond is up to you. Are you ready to take control of your destiny and rise above the noise? If you're serious about harnessing this power and continuing on your spiritual journey, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. Together, we'll unlock more insights that will not only keep you protected, but push you toward the success you're destined for. The journey has only just begun.